Welcome back to the channel, guys. Cesare here, and I'm back with another one. I'm very excited to see this, guys. James Gunn told us that it's going to give us an idea of how the DC slate looks. He delivered. This is chapter 1 that he's calling Gods and Monsters. Let's
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Christal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective, with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, you heard it there from the man himself, co-CEO of DC now. That's James Gunn. And he's come under a lot of scrutiny. He's come under a lot of criticism because, number one, he let Henry Cavill go. But from a perspective as a fan of DC, guys, I think pressing the reset button and starting something new is never a bad thing. And this is what has me excited. I mean, he's announced that Superman Legacy is going to start off all of this, and there is no better character that can be the headline for all of this, guys, than Superman. I wonder who they're going to cast because it's important that whoever they put in that role is a larger than life character. He basically said it's not going to be an origin story. So it's going to kick off the new DCU universe. And I'm pretty excited about that one, guys. I'm hoping, the one thing I've always wanted to see is Superman go up against either Doomsday or Brainiac. That is something that I would love to see in live action. And he said it's going to come out in July 2025. So it's still a long way off. I can wait, guys. I'm patient, and that really has me excited, guys. I can't wait for that one. The other movie that they also announced is Batman, which is going to be a Batman and Robin tale. Batman is going to meet his son, Damian Wayne, who's a trained assassin, and is basically the opposite of everything that Batman stands for. So it's going to be nice to see that dynamic of those two characters clashing. And also, I saw Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That's going to be interesting, guys, to have a big DC movie headlined by a female character. I know we've had Wonder Woman, but we haven't had a superpower character like Supergirl that matches up to her cousin, which is Superman himself. This is great news, guys. I'm excited just talking about this. I mean, this year already we have a few movies coming out: Blue Beetle, The Flash, and Aquaman 2, which he said is going to lead in eventually to the bigger grand scale idea of the DCU. So one thing that stands out for me there is, guys, that the fact that he mentioned that The Flash is one of the greatest comic book movies that he's ever seen. And there's been a lot of talk about this with all the controversy surrounding Ezra Miller. It's been up for debate whether or not they're going to market this or how this is going to come out. But the fact that they're saying it's one of the best ever, it raises eyebrows for me, and it turns it into something that must be seen. I mean, that has me excited. Blue Beetle as well. I can't wait to see what they're doing with that one, guys. And whew, lanterns. The fact that they're doing Lantern stylized as an HBO TV show in the vein of True Detective. I can't say that we've seen something like that before. I mean, True Detective is a remarkable TV show, and the fact that they're going to add something, create something similar to that, but add the sci-fi element. It looks like it's going to be a team up between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Whew. This is great news, guys. It's a great time to be a DC fan, and I love both DC and Marvel. And as you guys know, Marvel has been dominating. So I would love to finally see DC on a level, in a scale next to Marvel. So this has me very excited, guys. I think the fact that they got James Gunn in, as you can see what he's done with Guardians, it's safe to say that the DC universe is in good hands, guys. I can't wait to see what happens next, guys. All the announcements that are eventually going to start rolling out. That was a look at chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. He said it's not the full chapter 1. There's more announcements that still need to be made. And I'm excited, guys. I'm very excited. And he also mentioned that all the other projects that don't tie in directly to the bigger picture is going to be called DC Elseworlds. So I'm thinking it's the Matt Reeves universe where Batman is, and probably the other projects like your Shazam, your Aquaman, all those things. So the fact that they're not completely scraping everything makes me happy, because some of those characters people have started to love over the years. So he's doing right by the fans with this one, guys. I can't wait, guys. This has me very excited. And I'm still convinced that Henry Cavill will eventually return someday in a Kingdom Come movie. He's not the type of guy that strikes me that he would just disappoint everybody and just leave it at that. So I think that is still gonna happen, guys. But it's a great time to be a DC fan, guys. You guys can comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this news. Is there anything there that stands out that has you excited? Like and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit the notification bell whenever I post something. You guys will stay up to date.